Oh, hi, I'm Melissa, and this is my first ever broadcast on Periscope. So bear with me, and just show a lot of love. So I am an autism and social developmental consultant for children. I work with families who have children usually diagnosed with ASD, but I'm getting hearts. That makes me feel warm and fuzzy. But so I work with a lot of families also who have children who are not diagnosed with autism, but who have social or emotional behavioral issues, and I help the family with those issues as they arise. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was shifting your communication style and how vitally important that is. And this is something I'm incredibly passionate about, and I know it works, and I've seen the tremendous benefit. That said, it's a 180-degree shift. It's a very difficult transition for a lot of parents to make, to go from what all of us do. I have 3 small children of my own. We ask questions, we give commands, we offer demands like, get over here, or stop, or don't, or put that away, or where's your sister's stuffed animal? And that's just how all or most adults and teachers communicate with children. However, I'm here to tell you that instead it would be more beneficial by magnitudes. Oh, hey, someone just sent something that says, sometimes my kids just don't listen. So this is perfect. So now you listen, and then I'll tell you how to help them listen. And so we're going to speak in a declarative mode of communication. We are going to try to eliminate questions and imperatives, commands, and instead speak declaratively. How shall I do that, Melissa, you ask? I will tell you immediately. So instead of wear your shoes, which is something that happens in our house every single morning, get your shoes, command, wear your shoes, question. Instead, I'm looking at you. You look almost completely dressed, I would say to one of my children, but not entirely. Every morning, yes, I'm with you, brother, sister, yes, someone. I don't know who it is, but they like movies. And yeah, instead of telling them what to do, by having a child listen to your thoughts that sort of sound like you're talking out loud, you're thinking out loud, you give them an opportunity to apprentice your mind. When they are thinking then about how to think, we will always give them a greater opportunity to develop their own mind, their own ability to discern, and fortunately or not, to accept or reject what it is that you're thinking about out loud. But when you say, uh-oh, I hope your feet aren't cold, you're going to have a moment, and you create a pause and some space for your child to think about what that means, how what you're saying pertains to them, and why would their feet be cold? And then when it's 50 degrees out and they walk outside, which you may have to let them do, and one of the families I work with, the mom just did that with her daughter. She said, it doesn't look like your shoes are on, which is all declarative, just talking out loud. Usually they start with I statements. I don't see that your shoes are on. And the daughter said, I don't care, I'm not putting my shoes on. And she said, okay, well, we're heading to school or to the market or wherever they were going, and I hope your feet aren't cold. And she had to think about it, and she rejected her mom's idea to put her shoes on. But when she got out, her feet were freezing. And they did go to the market, and she said, I want to walk around. She said, it looks like you can't walk around because you didn't put your shoes on, which was your choice. But as a result of that choice, your feet aren't protected and you can't walk around in the store. So very quickly, the daughter learned to put her shoes on when it was time to do so. And it wasn't a fight every morning. It was just looking at her feet and saying, uh-oh, I hope your feet aren't cold. And the daughter puts her shoes on immediately. Problem solved. And that's how shifting your communication style, that's one example. So she did bring her shoes. The question was, so then what? Do you bring the shoes along? And she did. You certainly don't have to. Another family years ago did that with her son, who it was a consistent problem. And she sent him to school without shoes. And the school sent him home because you can't be in school without closed-toed shoes. And he learned that lesson. And it was a pretty inexpensive lesson. And it wasn't an argument every day for 10 months of the year, it was once. And she let him, because at first the mom was reluctant and reticent to send her son to school without shoes. What will people think? Well, you know, I think people get a lot. And if they see that someone struggles with things like that, they get it. And then, to me, better the opportunity for that child to have received that information, integrated that information fully, and to have it not be an issue in the future. What about choosing shoes? Yes. Yes, boys and girls alike, because I have and put shoes on, but ooh, it went away. Wants to something about choosing shoes. And I like to give a choice, if there is one to be made, where you can say, well, I see you have your red sparkly Dorothy shoes, and I see you have your gym shoes, and I know today you really wanted to play kickball, and I'm not sure which shoe would be better for kickball. I'm really thinking about it, and let your child think about it with you. This is really not about the shortcut and just, which I've done too, and sometimes you have to just get those shoes on those kids. I get it. This is not 100% of the time, but when you have an opportunity to give that opportunity to your child to think about it, then they can start learning a life skill, a lifelong skill, not just they got their shoes on so we can go, but a moment. And it really only takes another moment. It feels like it's an eternity, but it's only another moment to say, I know you really wanted to play kickball at recess today, and I don't know if you'll be able to if you're in your red sparkly Dorothy shoes. So I'm not sure which shoe to pick. And, oh, more hearts, and mine to you. So it's really an interesting dynamic when you create this space and you're bridging a pathway of communication between you and your child, where now you have given your child a chance to make a decision that's informed, that's thoughtful, instead of just doing what they're told. I always say that it's like following someone to a party. My son's about to join the broadcast. 1 second, honey. And and you don't know how you got there, right? You just followed someone to the party, and then it's time for you to leave the party, and you say, how do I go home? I just followed you here. I don't want our children to just sort of be schlepped along and dragged along. That's my son. And dragged along to parties. Oh, you're done? Okay. And to every stop. And that's my son. To show him? Do you know? So he's so cute. I do love my son, it turns out. Anyway, and so I'm going to wrap it up because my attention is being bifurcated. And thank you so much for joining today, your questions about shoes and children and communication style. And I can't wait to talk to you guys again. Bye. I don't know how to stop. Swipe down.